Good day, grade 10s. Today I'm going to introduce the Computer Center to you and show you the different things that you will find in the Computer Center and how we are connected. I'm going to share my screen with you so that you are able to see the PowerPoint. Okay. So the first part that I'm going to focus on is the classroom rules. Now, all rules and procedures pertaining to the Computer Center will always apply. Your homework will be due the next day unless specified. If you have not finished your homework or done your homework 3 times, it will result in a detention. You need to please bring your books and your textbooks every single time to class, and they must be covered with plastic and have a label on with your name and your grade. Flash drives, memory sticks, and external hard drives may be used for backups and must be clearly labeled. These must be scanned every time that you connect to one of our computers, and you may not lend out any of your storage devices to a friend or anyone else. Okay, we are trying to prevent viruses from spreading. It also will remain your responsibility. The next point is, it is important that you have an antivirus on all of your devices. So that could mean your phone, your tablet, or your laptop. So there are a variety, AVG, Avast, Norton, Kaspersky. So you can choose which one you want. There are many antiviruses that are free that you can install on your devices. The next thing, which you would have heard now throughout this week, is you need a Gmail account. For this, you needed the Gmail so that you can connect to Google Classroom. Please make sure that it is a Gmail and that you have answered the question on the Google Classroom that states that you give your name, your surname, and which class you are in, so that I will be able to identify you. Personal laptops or tablets may be used in class for work purposes only, and it will remain the responsibility of the student. Please ensure that your camera is covered at all times. This is to protect you and the school. Students who do not have a computer at home to complete their homework may arrange with myself to come to the computer center after school. Printing is available at specified times. Please ensure that you have the correct amount of money so that you will be able to pay and we don't have to struggle to find change. Please note, there are no color copies at school. At the end of each lesson, please ensure that the area where you have worked is left neat and tidy. So no papers on the floor, your chair's pushed in, put your keyboard and your mouse back on top of the computer tower. And lastly, please cut any notes that you are given and stick them neatly in your books. Do not tear them or use a ruler. It is very important that you use a scissors and glue. Your theory will be done in the front of your book, and the practical, so depending on whether you're doing CAT or IT, will be done at the back of your book. Okay, so let's introduce the Computer Center. So most of you have already been to the Computer Center at some point in time. The Computer Center is where students will have class and may also come after school to do their research for their homework. The next part, this is one of the most important parts to our Computer Center, is the PC, also known as the personal computer. So what we have here, the first number 1 is your computer screen. Now this is quite a fancy one. At the bottom, you'll see there's a bar here. This is a speaker, but there are a variety of different types of speakers or earphones that you can wear. Then we have our keyboard. It's a standard. We call this a QWERTY keyboard. Reason being because the first few letters on your keyboard spells out QWERTY. So it's called a QWERTY keyboard. Then what we have is the mouse. We then have the CD-ROM, CD or DVD-ROM. So if you still are using CDs and DVDs, you will place it inside there. And this box over here is called a tower. Then we have different types of printers. Okay, so in our classroom, we have two types. We have the main one. This is a LaserJet, and we call these mono printers. So the reason mono is because it only has one color and it will print in black. So this type of printer, we can print about 20,000 pages on one of these cartridges, but the cartridges are quite expensive. Then what we have is our multi-printers. These are inkjets, and you can copy, scan, fax. There's a whole variety of things that you are able to do, but they have slightly different cartridges. There are multiple cartridges, so you will have the black. The blue is called cyan, the pink is magenta, and yellow. The next part that is extremely important in a computer center is your network. So at our school, we have both. We have a LAN connection and we have a wireless, a WLAN. So for a LAN connection, you will need a switch. Okay, so it looks something like this, where we will plug in, you will see the cables at the top corner of our school, of the classroom, and it will have a cable that runs to every single PC. It can go to a printer, a laptop, to a variety of things. Okay, so these little blocks are called LAN ports. Now this one is a WAN. WAN stands for Wide Area Network. LAN is a local area network. Okay. On this side, what we have is a wireless router. This is your Wi-Fi. So if you are not in the classroom, but you need to connect to the internet, there are different devices. There's a router in an area, and this will broadcast the internet or the signal to your devices. So you will either be able to go to a switch and then connect to a cloud, or you will be able to connect with your cell phone, with a PC if it's got a network card, and a laptop. Okay. The next important thing, and more so ever with the load shedding that we experience nowadays, is a UPS, an uninterrupted power supply, or we also can say it's an uninterruptible power supply. Okay, so you get different sizes depending on the capacity that you need. A little one like this will give you 1 to 2 hours, depending on how much work and how many PCs you've got connected, up to quite a strong one. Now, if you were to open it up, it almost looks like a car battery inside. So you would be able to connect your PC, your laptop, even your Wi-Fi to one of these, so that if the power goes down, you still have some power to be able to run some of your devices. Okay, so an uninterruptible power supply, or UPS, is an electronic apparatus that provides emergency power to a load when the input power source fails. A UPS differs from an auxiliary or emergency power system, like a generator. So our school also has a generator. So in case during matric exams that we don't have a problem and the students can carry on. The on battery, in the generator, and will provide instantaneous protection from the input power interruptions by supplying energy stored in batteries. Now remember, I said to you, these batteries, they don't look like your AAA or your AA batteries. They're these square blocks inside and look very much like a car battery. The on battery runtime of most UPS is relatively short. So some will only be a few minutes, but some, the stronger, the bigger ones, will give you more power. This will give you enough time just to save your work and be able to shut down everything properly before the power goes out. The next part is the server. So what we do at our school is we do not save onto the local disk. We actually go and save to something that looks like this box here, or this tower, and we have many disks inside, and through the network, you will have a folder or an area on the network where you are able to save your things. So just to explain to you quickly how it works, here is our server. The server then connects us to the internet. The client, so you'll learn about clients and servers. Now, a client can be a laptop, a phone, a PC, or even a tablet. Okay, so it's not a client as someone who's buying something. It is seen as a client that is using the resources of our server. So we don't have to buy software for every single PC. We load our software onto our server, and then it is shared to the different clients. And then just for interesting fact, did you know that Microsoft has an underwater data center, and it contains 864 servers in there? So that's an actual capsule from Microsoft that is under the sea. And later on, I'm going to teach you all about different cables. And one of those cables is the internet cable that runs along the floor of the ocean. Our next part that is extremely important is security. Okay, so you know that you can't just leave your things lying around. You need to protect your things. Now, one of the most important things that we don't often realize is that if someone can steal, is your data. Okay, so if someone takes your phone or your laptop, then you might have lost all your documents, your projects, or on your phone, maybe precious photos that you were taking from a special holiday that you and your family went on. Okay, so there are different things. So first, let's look at our definition. Computer security is the protection of unauthorized access, the use, alteration, so means changing, or destruction of hardware, software, and data. Now you get two types of computer security: physical and logical. So physical protection of computing devices using physical objects such as security guards, alarms, gates, security doors, vaults, any of those physical features. Then we get logical security. Okay, so this protection is through having a good password. So I'm going to teach you how to create a strong, secure password so that someone cannot hack into your system. There's also the firewall. Then we get encryption, for example, in our biometric security. These are logical. So biometric, just to give you a quick info on that one, is anything that is unique to you as a person. So it can be your fingerprint, it can be the iris so it can scan your eyes. So there are a variety of ways to make sure that only you can access that information. So the firewall, what it does is it checks anything that's coming from the outside, from the internet, trying to get into your computer. And it will decide, is it allowed or is it not allowed? Then we have data storage. Okay, so big words that you're going to learn this year is RAM and ROM. So RAM stands for random access memory. That is like your short-term memory. So if I tell you, write down this homework and then this afternoon you will access it. Where ROM is my read-only memory. So this is, for example, when you are studying for a test. You study the work and you set it to memory so that in a few weeks' time or few months' time, you will be able to tell me what you had learned. Okay. Then on the right here, what we have is different types of storage. So I wanted to show you. So this first card here is an Ultra SDHC card, and we usually use these in our cameras. So if you've got a digital camera, you can have one of these cards and store hundreds of photos on your digital camera. Then we have our micro SD, so SanDisk. Now this one you can actually place inside your phone or your tablet to add additional storage to your device. Then what we have two types of internal and external. The internal one is this first picture. That is what's physically in your device, in your PC or your laptop. Now you get different sizes one. So obviously the laptop is smaller in physical size, but not necessarily in storage size. Then the one that many of you already have is an external hard drive. There you can store all your work, maybe some music or different things like that. Now for our day-to-day work, we use a flash drive, or they call it a pen drive here, but mostly in South Africa, we speak about a flash drive. Now, not so popular are the last two. Now, floppy disks are pretty much, when I was at school, we would have a floppy disk and it was very, very small. I think you could only maybe fit a few songs on a floppy disk. Then we have our CDs and DVDs. This is called optical storage. Okay, so throughout this year, I'm going to explain to you a lot more about this, but I just wanted to introduce these types of storage to you, and you will learn when you will use which one. And that is basically the introduction to the computer center, the devices, the hardware that you're going to work with. When we get together again, I'm going to basically introduce the software that we will be using. So don't worry. I know you guys are working hard and I'm really proud of you. So keep going at it. I would like you to go through this and I want you to please copy the information into your books. Okay, so remember, theory is going to go on the front of your book and the practical will go at the back. Have a great day and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.